More time is spent listening to the radio in this country than any other country in the world. Come with me to Argentina as I discover how Adventist World Radio is touching lives with the everlasting gospel. This is AWR 360.
The city of Cordoba, Argentina, is full of rich colonial heritage. Towering Gothic cathedrals and quaint streets lined with shops and cafes. 1.3 million Argentinians call this city home, making it the second largest urban center in the country. Today I have come to meet Andrés, who lives just outside the heart of town. Andrés lives in a modest home and even owns a small shop next door, where he sells basic goods and food items to the neighborhood. He may live a seemingly happy and peaceful life today, but as he begins to tell me his story, I realize that this was not always the case.
My life was falling apart. Cigarettes and alcohol consumed my days and my wallet. I would awake every morning craving alcohol. My hands would be shaking until I get a drink. My wife couldn't stand my drinking and smoking. She wouldn't have anything to do with me. I would tell myself, when my son is born, I would not smoke anymore. I will change my life. But no matter how much I tried, I simply could not change, even after our son was born.
Sometimes, when Andrés was responsible for buying groceries, he would come home with only packs of cigarettes for himself.
My life continued to get worse. I was now smoking up to 60 cigarettes a day. Things got so bad that I began to contemplate ending my life.
One day, Andrés confided in a friend about his need for change. The friend gave him a radio and suggested he listen to a certain Christian station. Andrés gratefully accepted the radio and excitedly began to listen to the broadcast. But it wasn't long before he became bored and began looking for a more interesting channel. He tried many different ones, but when he came to 92.9, something caused him to stop. It was the Adventist World Radio station called Nuevo Tiempo.
I was immediately captivated by the voice I would later learn was Pastor Ponce. He spoke words that filled my soul. My heart was touched by the Bible messages. A few days later, as I was again listening to the radio station, they announced that Nuevo Tiempo was providing free Bible studies for their listeners. I decided I wanted to do that.
Little did he know that this decision would forever change his life. Once Andrés received the lessons and began to study the Bible, a sense of peace he had never experienced before came over him. God was slowly working a transformation in his life, but this was only the beginning. One day, Andrés heard an announcement for a free 5-day stop smoking course. Even though he had tried on several occasions to quit, he had not yet been able to give up his smoking habit. Perhaps this was his chance. He followed the program perfectly, drinking lots of water and eating only fruits and vegetables to help his body detox from the nicotine.
By God's grace, not only did I stop smoking the first day, but I never took a drink of alcohol ever again.
But God wasn't through with Andrés yet. He was convicted that God wanted him to make changes in his business as well. His friends thought he was crazy when he shared his plan to stop selling cigarettes and alcohol in his shop. But Andrés believes God has blessed his business in a special way since making this change. He has even begun to share Adventist literature with his customers.
To say it simply, Nuevo Tiempo Radio saved my life. Through his messages, I found peace and happiness. I found a family of believers. Everything about me has changed. My way of thinking, my way of dressing, my way of living. Thanks to Adventist World Radio, I am a new man in Christ.
As I listen to Andrés' story, I cannot help but think of how heaven is rejoicing over this home. We say our goodbyes and part ways, realizing we may never meet again on this earth. But yet I rejoice in the hope that one day soon we will again meet Andrés and the thousands of other listeners around the world whose hearts have been touched by the work of Adventist World Radio.
Across the globe, there are millions living in difficult-to-reach places where missionaries cannot go. North Africa, the Middle East, China, North Korea, and many more. It is into these very countries that AWR's broadcasts are penetrating every single day from our strategic network of shortwave, AM, FM, and internet stations. So how can you help spread the gospel in these difficult-to-reach places? Here are 2 practical ways. First, pray. Prayer is the key in the hand of faith that can unlock heaven's storehouse. And second, visit AWR.org, where you can help to expand the reach of AWR's broadcasts by your generous donations. Thank you for joining us in hastening Jesus' soon coming by your needed prayers and support. Until next time, this is AWR 360.